Good morning students, how are you? I am Francis sir and today we will be studying Standard 6 Chemistry. So today's chapter is Garbage in and Garbage out. This is a very interesting topic and you might have quite many times come across this word as well as this thing in real. So the question is, when we talk about here garbage, the first question that arises is, what is garbage? Garbage can be referred to as any substance or any material or anything which has become a waste, So garbage can be referred to as a substance which is a waste. Waste means of no use. Okay, so waste can be considered to be as a substance which is of no use for anymore for us, anymore. Okay, so that type of substance can be said to be as garbage. Okay, or can be said to be as a waste, or we can say a non-useful substance that we possess can be called to be as a waste. But you understand this use, or the usefulness of anything depends upon the way we look at it. For instance, the book, this Standard 6 book that you are studying, it is very useful for you now, but after you have passed on to Standard 7, what will happen? This book won't be of any use for you. Since it is of no use for you, it becomes a waste for you. So this book is a waste for you. But at the same time, this book can be useful for some other person or other child who is in Standard 6. So it has no utility for you now, but it has become a utility for some other person. So, but when we talk about waste, we generally talk according to ourselves. For example, when you might have seen that sometimes the quantity of food that is being cooked in your house is quite much, and sometimes the food is left over. So what we do, we give this leftover food to some animals, maybe cow, maybe dogs, maybe goats, whoever pass by nearby. So what is this? That leftover food has become a waste for us, but it has become a useful thing for the animals that we have given them. So you understand, usefulness or waste, both these terms are relative. Some things might be a useful thing for some people, whereas the same thing might be a waste for some people. So it depends. So generally when we talk of waste or garbage, generally we take it as us, take it according to us, whether we can use it in a useful way or not. If we cannot use it in a useful way, that means it is a waste for us. Okay? Okay. Now, so this is, you understood what is garbage, I hope. So now the next question for the garbage is, how is garbage produced? So first of all, you understand this. Anything that is present all around us, okay, we can use it. Because it has some utility. So after using that useful thing, for example, the book that we talked about, after having read that book for the whole complete year, you have read it, you have learned from it, and since you have learned from it, you have used that book. After that, book has become a waste for you. So any useful substance after being used. Understand? Any useful substance after being used becomes a waste. So this has to be understood. Any useful substance after it has been used, it becomes a waste. So this is the way of formation of a waste. So for instance, we take in food, yes, we use it in our body after eating, and after it has been used in our body, there is some leftover portion. And that leftover portion, we throw it out or move it out in the form of feces every morning. Yes? So you understand that food was a useful substance and we used it, and then it got converted into waste. For example, the book that you read, you used it, then it became a waste for you. Okay. The copy that you have written, after that year is complete, after you have completed that copy, all the things that you have written, it becomes a waste for you. But it may be a useful thing for the person who has not read that notes that you have made in the copy. Or what do you say? There are so many things. For example, the packing bottle or the packing of these Lays, Kurkure, chocolates. By the time they have been wrapped over that material, they have packed the material. After the packing is unopened, yes, its utility is over. Okay, so this is what has to be understood, that what is the procedure for the production of garbage, or how is garbage produced, that after using the useful substance, after the useful substance has been used, it becomes a waste. This is how garbages are produced. Okay. Now the next question arises: what are the different types of garbages present? So garbages can be of different types. Okay, but basically they have been classified into two. The first type is biodegradable waste, and the second one is non-biodegradable waste. So basically there are two types of waste: biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. So what do we understand by this biodegradable waste? The waste materials which can be broken down into simpler form by the action of microorganisms. The waste materials which can be broken down into simpler substance by the action of microorganisms. Microorganisms can be referred to as fungus, bacteria, virus, maybe some small worms. Yes, for example, red worms, or we can say that earthworm. So all these, there are different type of worms also who can do this type of function. So this type of waste which can be broken down by the action of microorganisms can be referred to as biodegradable waste. Can be referred to as biodegradable waste. They are broken down by the action of microorganisms, whereas the non-biodegradable waste, these are the waste which cannot be broken down, by the action of microorganisms. Okay, so they are different. So basically, it is these non-biodegradable waste, which creates pollution. It is this non-biodegradable waste that generates what? Pollution. And that is why we need to process this non-biodegradable waste so that our nature is preserved. And also it is very necessary to treat this biodegradable waste also so that we can convert it into useful things if possible. So in a way, we should understand that these biodegradable as well as non-biodegradable waste both have to be treated. Okay, so if we treat that, our cycle in nature goes on very properly. Okay, and something is that we can preserve our nature. Okay. Now the next question that comes across that is garbage is, how can we deal with garbage? Or it can be said, not how can we, it can be said that the better question is that why should we deal with garbage? This is a better question. And how should we deal with garbage? With that we will move on to the when we will move in the next video, in that one we will study that. Okay, so here is that why should we deal with garbage? The reason is that, as I told you, there are two types of garbage: biodegradable and non-biodegradable. If we don't treat this non-biodegradable waste, it leads to pollution. It has adverse effect in the various realms of the earth that we have, for example, land, water and air. All these three are very badly affected by this non-biodegradable waste. So that is why we should deal with the garbage properly so that we can reduce pollution. On the other hand, it is not only that pollution is done only by non-biodegradable waste. It also comes with the biodegradable waste if not treated properly. For instance, there are some cities in which the septic tank, you understand, the tank where the feces, that we in the morning we go and fresh ourselves, that the feces that move out of our body, that are deposited in the septic tank. So septic tank, what does it do? It is what does it do? It helps in this biodegradation of the waste, and it does not pollute the environment also. But there are some cities where there is no septic tank, and when there is no septic tank, these feces that move out from our body and we discharge it into the toilet, what happens is that these feces are released directly through the drains, and these drains directly are released into the rivers or the ponds or the lakes which are nearby water bodies. a water body nearby, very unfit for use. There are so many people, or maybe the animals, or maybe the aquatic animals, they might be living there, and they are suffering harmful effect because of these things. And this drain also has so many biodegradable waste also present in the drains, and this drain is also not treated. Okay, so in a way you understand that this treatment of both biodegradable waste as well as non-biodegradable waste is very important, because both of them can cause pollution, and when they cause pollution they have adverse effect in the nature, and when there is adverse effect in the nature, we are the part of the nature. It is surely be giving us also some adverse effect, and that is why we get sick. You know, there are so much waterborne diseases. Yes, jaundice, typhoid, malaria, dengue. Yes, what are all these? Yes, there sometimes food poisoning is there. So there are so many problems, that can occur to us also if our environment is polluted. So it's our prime duty that we should do what? Treat both biodegradable waste as well as the non-biodegradable waste. So what are the different ways to treat the biodegradable waste or the non-biodegradable waste or the waste category itself? That will be looking in the next video. Okay, with this I end the video. Have a good day and go through the book properly. Okay.